Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Bo and Joe Show. And as you can see, G3 is not Joe. TB12 is tied up, and she's going to try to make it. So that's what happens when you get divorced from Gisele Bundchen. Did I pronounce her name right, G?
Wow.
Life will throw some curveballs your way. So she's tied up trying to rope Tom Brady down to get him to notice her. So we'll let Joe do her thing and try to hog tie Tom Brady down, and we will carry on with the show. But in all due seriousness, she's good. She's fine, everyone. She's just tied up. She's got things to do, and life gets in the way. But we are happy to have our man, G3, Coach, the man. He's not a myth. He's definitely a legend.
Oh,
well, welcome to the show.
Yeah, you're right about life catching up. Oh, life almost had me today too. So
I hear you.
Glad to partner up and tag team with you again, Bodine.
Absolutely, the pleasure is all mine. So I'm gonna do what I normally do at the end of the show. Now, got to do some shout outs to Cheney, right? Cheney, you, because I've got some new props. Before we get into the NFL, the agenda tonight will be, we'll start with open the floor. We'll start with college football. If there's anything you want to throw in, G, before we get to the NFL, because you know there's so much happening in the NFL, it's going to take a lot of our time. So anything you want to add, give us a highlight of what you want to talk about before we get started.
Rolling right into the college football. I'm actually, when the committee came out with their ratings, I'm actually not surprised. I literally pretty much about had the top four exactly in that order.
Okay, well, hold off. We'll get to it. We'll get to it because I know we've had conversations about it, but I'm going to start with, because of allow me personal privilege to shout out our Philadelphia Flyers baseball team.
Phillies.
I'm sorry, Phillies. It goes to show you how tired I am.
Hockey on the brain already, buddy. Hockey on the brain already.
Shout out to our Flyers for giving us a great show after the halfway point of the season. They got rid of the coach. The new coach came in and they turned it around. They gave us some exciting, like a little over an exciting month of playoff baseball. And we will be back. This town is rejuvenated and full of energy, and it's going to roll right into football. And then I also want to give a shout out to our soccer team, the Philadelphia Union, who did lose in the championship game, but they also gave us an exciting season. So now that we put those two teams to bed, they're on vacation fishing. We can roll right into our 8-0 football team, that we'll get into that right when we talk about the NFL. Anything you want to add before I move into college football, G?
No, I'm ready. I'm ready to rock and roll.
Well, I can't believe you forgot, but I have to show everyone this incredible shirt that G sent me, and he sent Joe a shirt, the Vermilion Sailors. And so it's a great shirt. I'm gonna have to lose about 10 pounds to allow it to fit where it doesn't look like I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger or Rocky. Because if I wash that thing, brother, it's gonna be like I'm in a muscle bound shirt, right? It's gonna.
You hit them in cold water, man.
Yeah, I hear you.
I always wash them in cold water.
I hear you. I hear you. So, but thank you. It's a great shirt. I love it. I'm definitely going to wear it. I just didn't want to wear it tonight. So, I wanted to be able to hold it up and show everybody. So, let's jump into college football.
I was going to say, if Chris can hit the share on that, don't know if he can bring that up or not.
Uh-oh, somebody got something?
Yeah, I turned around and brought up the pic of Joe's.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Chris, can you hit the share on that?
Hit the share on that.
What?
The share screen.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. There's Joe's.
There we go. That's Joe's shirt. Absolutely. Her colors, her favorite colors, Minnesota, as they say in Minnesota, Minnesota. So that's her shirt. It's a gorgeous shirt. Fits her. I would never wear a purple shirt. Sorry, I did like Prince. I loved his music, but I'm never, ever in my life, you're going to catch me wearing purple. Sorry, not me. Ain't going to happen. So it's all good, though. It's all good.
Actually, you're bringing up the local group. Basketball has officially kicked off for Bryce and the squads. We still have yet to sort everybody out, but we already had our first look at 23 kids, and we'll be looking again at them tomorrow night, and hopefully be able to split everybody up between A and B, and I'll be running with the B squad no matter what the situation. So looking forward to that and having another great season like we did last year. The guys really enjoyed it and got some new people in as well this year. So we're looking forward to setting these guys up. So next year, we already told them it's like, hey, they'll only keep 12 kids to play on the actual school squad. So 23 to 12, we want to make it, make those coaches think next year going, wow, we could have two teams, but there can only be one team. So we got to, we'll do all of us coaches, we will do our best to make sure that no matter what, these kids are ready to rock and roll for next year.
Awesome. It's all about development on every level. It's about development. I was having a conversation today with a potential client, and it's all about development. And if folks don't realize it, they're in it for the wrong reasons, right? The goal is to develop everybody, no matter what industry you're in, what sport you're in, where you work. It's about development. It's all about growth. Continue to grow. So those who don't want to grow, see ya. And those who don't want to teach, because coaches are basically teachers, if they're not in it for the right reason, they got to go too. But we'll get into the Colts later. We'll get into the Colts later.
You're not going to let that one go.
So I agree with you regarding the rankings. Georgia number 1, the Ohio State number 2. I can't believe that they trademarked the, but that's okay. That's another conversation.
Hey, look, it's Columbus. The Buckeyes are nuts. We got a bunch of nuts running the place. What can I say? I'll leave it at that.
Okay, thank you. Wolverines, who I love, the Wolverines. I love Harbaugh. I've always liked and loved Harbaugh. And so I like what he's doing. He's paid his dues. He's got that team ranked number 3. So it's all good. And so did you guys play them yet? I don't think so.
We play them Thanksgiving weekend. Every
Ooh, that is going to be a barn burner. Yes, and you and I will be on the
Mr.
phone.
Harbaugh has a receipt coming, as we like to say, from wrestling. We
Yep.
got a receipt for you from last year, buddy boy. Don't
You
worry.
and I
We'll put you back on your shelf. Don't you worry.
you and I will be on the phone either in live or we will be texting back and forth because I'm telling you,
I think we'll have to have a private watch party on StreamYard.
I am a huge Harbaugh fan. I have family in Michigan, and you've got roots in Michigan, but that's okay.
I loved having him as the 49ers coach. I wish Jed York would have got his head out of his rear end and just let it be. And York just wants to put his fingers in too much, and it's going to come back to bite him one of these. And it did. It totally did already. Man, I loved it when Harbaugh was coaching the Niners. I said it couldn't have been a more perfect fit. And then they just went and York screwed that up. And I still won't forgive him for it.
And we've seen that movie before when owners meddle, at least publicly meddle. We know that they get involved on a day-to-day because they own the team. They have every right. But when you publicly meddle, no, it's a recipe for disaster. You're not going to win a championship, right? As much as a lot of people disliked, and I was one of those that disliked the New England Patriots when they were winning, their owner publicly kept his nose out of the business of football. He let Bill Belichick and Tom Brady do their thing, right? So,
and as a Clevelander, Belichick, we love that dude here. We still think that, the whole Browns debacle before these new Browns, who went on to be the Baltimore Ravens, who went on to win a Super Bowl, and who went on, by the way, the next year to draft some guy named Ray Lewis.
Yep.
Who got to be a Hall of Famer. Yeah,
Yep.
The old Browns were looking pretty darn good. And ownership just keeps screwing things. Why do the owners keep screwing things up like that? They just do.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of having Singletary as my head coach for the 49ers. I loved it. I said, perfect. Nope, York had to mess that up too.
Yep.
That's why right now, York, when it comes to Shanahan, I'm like, dude, leave him alone. Don't mess with it. Leave it alone. So far, John Lynch is telling York, stay out. York still goes, I want to draft this guy. No, you didn't make four number twos for Trey Lance. Nope, the owner did. It's like, no, stupid, don't do it. Yep, he did it.
Yep.
But
you digress because all you're going to do is make our producer cry behind the scenes because he's living that dream every day because of his owner and the Dallas Cowboys. So again, let's wait for Chris. Let's wait for the show to end so Chris can continue to be the great producer that he is. So number 4, TCU. Now, I haven't seen TCU, and I'm going to watch TCU because apparently they're playing good football. The question is, could they beat any of the teams that are 8-1? I don't know. Could they beat Tennessee? Could they beat LSU? Could they beat USC? I don't know. But if you're undefeated and you're in a power conference, you deserve to be number 4. No worries. So I like that lineup.
And it's not their first rodeo up here either in the top
10.
It's not their first rodeo.
No, they play good football. I like the fact that California has 2 teams in the top 10, USC and UCLA.
For new Big Ten schools coming.
Well, that's true. Well, it's going to help the Big Ten out. As I said, the number 1 state for football is Florida. The number 2 state is Pennsylvania. The number 3 state is California. The number 4 state is Texas. And the number 5 state is Ohio. And if people have heard me say that before, knows that I've switched up on that ranking a few times.
Yes, you have.
Number one is always Florida. Number five is always Ohio State. But the other three, I tend to switch back and forth. So it depends on the way the wind blows.
Hey,
So,
it's all right as long as we got a pair.
so let me ask you a question. Who is the honorable mention number 6 and number 7 state in terms of football? Who would you throw in there?
Probably New York.
There we go.
You'd have to go to New York.
I agree.
That would easily would have to be right there. It would be New York. Depending on where they're putting the Washington Commanders and Baltimore. I mean, so you got Massachusetts with the pair, or a few, plenty actually. So you got Massachusetts with because between New England, Baltimore, and the Commanders, you've got everybody right there.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. That's good. That's good.
yeah,
That's good. I just wanted to throw that out. All right.
yeah, that's where I'd go with it.
Okay. I like that. Now let's talk individuals. I am absolutely impressed with Tyreek Hill. That dude has 1,100 yards receiving in 9 games. Whoever's got him on fantasy must be losing their mind in enjoyment. Oh, do you have him?
Yes. Why, yes, I do. Oh, yes, I do.
Is that incredible?
It's the guy's talent.
Has anybody ever done that before?
One guy does come to mind, as a matter of fact. His name was Dante Hall, the human.
Dante Hall from the Kansas City Chiefs.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
He was awesome.
yes, he was. He was the human joystick, and it's actually my very first jersey that I actually ever owned is a Dante Hall Kansas City Chiefs jersey. Names and numbers stitched, not screen printed. And I actually got it for $25 at the time. That
was a while ago. Yeah, that was a while ago. He was awesome. He was absolutely awesome.
He is still one of my all-time favorites. One of my all-time favorites. Eric Metcalf.
Yeah.
From Cleveland Browns.
Mm-hmm.
First, he was with the Browns, folks. Before San Diego, it was Cleveland, and that's where he made his namesake. So,
he was awesome too. Absolutely.
Yep, and he's
absolutely. Well, again, I'm thoroughly impressed, and let's see if he gets to 2,000 yards. I mean, he would need to be in the MVP conversation with quarterbacks. That would be incredible.
Well, the funny thing is okay, you're going to set him up for 2,000 yards. That means that there's a quarterback who's probably throwing 3,000 to 4,000 yards.
Sure.
Right there. And Tua has not been afraid to take the Ferrari, the Lamborghini, and the Porsche out for a drive.
He's not afraid of it.
Because he is taking all the toys.
When he is slinging it.
When the Dolphins have a great game, even good game, he is giving the ball a little bit to everybody, and everybody's flourishing.
He's slinging it. Now, he's still not totally accurate, but I think that's just timing. They need to spend more time together as, quarterback and receivers. But he is not afraid to sling it, and he is slinging it. I'm telling you. Woo!
And now that Mostert and Wilson came over from the 49ers, and the running backs coach who was with the 49ers is also now with the Dolphins. Coincidence? Maybe. Hello. Miami, don't go to sleep on them just quite yet.
Oh no, they're not messing around.
Buffalo, hello. If
they're not messing around.
Josh Allen news comes out, and it's right now. I heard the press conference today on Sirius. It does not sound like McDermott is very happy with the news. He's very concerned. And
About the elbow? Is it the elbow?
If it's Tommy John,
Oh,
sorry, Buffalo fans,
your season's done.
you're gonna. It's not gonna be. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be done. We here in Cleveland saw Case Keenum play, come right in, knows the book, and just tries to pick up right where the other one left off. I don't think Case Keenum's not going to have that scrambling ability. However, the coaches will adapt just like the other coaches did here. You adapt to what the quarterback is good with, and you know his strengths, and you're going to make your game plan adjustments accordingly. I don't think, are they going to be blowing people out? No, I don't think so.
No.
Will they still win some games and
Yes.
probably make the playoffs? Yes.
Now that I've heard who the backup quarterback is, I would agree. He's absolutely, no one is Josh Allen. But if he can manage the team and give the team confidence, right? You got to give your teammates confidence that you can get the job done. Then they'll hit a bumpy road, but they'll at least still make it to the playoffs. But I didn't know he was the backup, so I was like, listen.
Whiskey.
What I meant by they were done is they're not going to win a Super Bowl. What I meant by done is they might make it to the playoffs, but they're going to be in and out. That's what I meant, right? So we'll see what happens.
Some guy turned around and replaced Drew Bledsoe, and all of a sudden walked right into a Super Bowl. So I don't know about them apples.
Some
guy replaced Alex Smith in San Francisco and walked right into a Super Bowl. Never say never when it comes to a backup quarterback. Some guy named Nick Foles replaced some guy named Carson Wentz in Philadelphia and walked into a Super Bowl and won.
Have you lost your ever-loving mind comparing Case Keenum to the GOAT and the future GOAT?
And
now, I can see. Hold on.
Compared him to Nick Foles, Colin Kaepernick.
Time out.
I'm just saying, in the NFL, you never say never.
Time out.
A backup quarterback.
Time out. I can see, and I'm okay with you comparing him to Nick Foles and Colin Kaepernick. But the first two you mentioned, you lost. You better stop. What's in that cup you drinking? I don't know what's in that cup you drinking. You better stop it.
I'm just saying, 2 out of the 3 I named won their Super Bowls. And if it wasn't for a stupid power outage, Kaepernick would have one too.
That would be correct.
So,
I agree.
So guess what? I'm not ever going to say, well, they don't have a shot, because you never know when it comes to that backup quarterback with a team in front of you. You just don't know.
Hey, what's his name? The Hall of Fame quarterback from the Rams,
Kurt Warner.
Yeah, we've seen it. We've seen this movie before. He did it.
I was going to say, good call. There's another one.
He did it too.
And he walked in.
Never heard of him. The guy was literally stocking shelves at the supermarket. Been there, done that. And so, yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. So let's move on. This one, I want to hear from our wonderful producer, Crispy Bacon. Are you there? At least show your face for 1 minute, because I want to hear what you have to say about this. Is it true that Dallas is trying to get Odell Beckham Jr.? Really?
They've been in discussions with the agent to check up on the availability, how the health is, how it's looking. So yeah, when Dallas lost Amari Cooper, yeah, they're hurting in that spot. They are. They're hurting in that department. CeeDee Lamb can't do it all, and they are looking for another body.
Yep.
I don't know exactly what. Odell needs to understand there isn't that much money left. He already paid everybody else all the money.
Yeah, but
Are you willing to come in for a certain cut for a couple years? We'll try to wing something for a 3 to 4 year deal with it loaded on the back end versus the front end.
Yeah,
And
they
that-
paid.
That's going to be the question.
Yeah, they can throw incentives in his contract, but here's what's great about the owner of the Cowboys. Once you are a player for the Cowboys and you get a contract and then you perform and produce, the money that you can make off the field in terms of endorsements will more than satisfy OBJ, because he's a diva anyway.
Yep.
So next thing you know, he's in those sleeping commercials with his quarterback, right? They might be in the same bed, right? The quarterback has the sleep number commercial or whatever. He's gonna get commercials out, because that stadium is nothing but a sponsorship stadium. Everything in that stadium is based on sponsorship. So they'll make it work. I'm not concerned about that. They'll make Odell happy if he decides to come there, right? He'll be fine.
So yeah, that rumor is true. I caught wind of that last week a little bit, and I was like, okay, let me delve into a few things. And yep, I found it, and it's like, all right, well, they're just inquiring. And then Ian turned around and popped in and said, yeah, on Sunday he happened to mention it too. So it's like once Ian calls it out, it's like, all right, it's been hard. It's a hard confirmation.
You talking about Rap Pat Porp?
Yep. Yes, sir. I even tell my guys, if Ian didn't say it, it didn't happen yet. And
There you go.
guess what? It's pretty much about dead on with Ian. So in Ian, I trust.
Well, let's talk about the breaking news that drove both of us off our rocker.
Almost off the road.
What
Almost off
is
the freeway?
what?
I was driving when Sirius Radio announced it. I was driving and I went, what?
What in the world is the Colts doing? Have they lost it all? I mean, again, I'm a Jeff Saturday supporter. I like his commentary on ESPN. He's always been a stand-up guy. He's never given me any ill feelings or questions about his commentary. I absolutely love the relationship he has with Peyton Manning. I think more quarterbacks should have that kind of relationship. And if they do, they need to promote it. But I'm just saying, there are so many things wrong with this picture. I don't get it. I mean, you've basically alienated, undermined your coaching staff that's still there, who've been coaching there.
Actually, they released more people.
They released more who?
Coaches.
Really? So he's already bringing in his own coaches?
There were two more that also went with Frank, because that's what they were having the discussion about. And Frank said, well, if they go, I go. And Irsay went, bye-bye. Thank you for coming.
Well, again, Frank is a stand-up guy, and you roll with your crew, right? You roll with your crew, and you find out who your crew is when it's time to roll. So he found out who his crew is. He supported his crew. He fell on the sword for his crew. Much respect, absolutely much respect to Frank for doing it, because he's going to get another job. I don't know if it'll be a head coaching job, but he's going to get another job. The dude's jersey is in the Hall of Fame. He may not necessarily get to the Hall of Fame as a player, But remember, that dude's jersey is in the Hall of Fame, right? For that great comeback. The guy he's a good quarterback coach, and he just may not be a good head coach, but we'll see. What do you think?
I think he's going to end up in Jacksonville right with Mr. Peterson, and it's going to be give him another shot to go put that tag team together one more time. Go ahead. I
Just
dog dare you all, because next thing you'll know, you'll see Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence, ETN, Kirk, and all the boys all Jaguars Super Bowl. And Bo's just like, preach it. He just loves, it's like Bo's in bobblehead mode.
Yep. That's exactly what I'm thinking. He's
because Peterson up with Peterson and let the two of them go to town.
They had a great relationship when they were here in Philly. They know exactly what to do. Absolutely.
When they were apart, you see what happened when they got apart. They
fell apart.
Put them back together.
Let's go do this. Yep. I'm with you.
It's Jacksonville's game.
I'm with you.
It's Jacksonville's game. If it happens for next year, it'll be nothing but Jacksonville's game. Big time.
If it happens, I give it 2 years, and those guys are in the playoffs.
I wouldn't even wait that long.
Okay.
If they reconstruct, they reconstructed Phillies in 6 months.
Yep.
And that was with 3 months in the off season, and just ran it right on in. Okay. I'm paying attention. Yeah.
Yep. All good, brother. All good. Okay. Well, let's jump into the last week's games and who won and who lost. Whew. We were all on the Eagles, and we all won. The Texans are terrible. Even on a short week, Thursday night, came out sluggish, we still won. So that shows that the team is being coached well. The team is taking it seriously. And
I don't know. I have one certain individual, Mr. Pierce, who's Houston's running back, who had 143 yards. That kind of concerns me about Philly's defense a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. Remember, everybody is a pro and everybody gets paid. You ain't going to dominate everybody every week. But the goal is to find a way to win. And that's what's impressive, finding a way to win when there's a weakness in your team.
Mm-hmm.
If they go up against Tennessee, they have to load the box.
Well, I'd like to think that they're going to prepare for Mr. Henry, big boy, and they'll figure out a way to do it. So until we get to that point, it's all about it's all about celebrating my Eagles, celebrating the Eagles winning 8-0.
Mm-hmm.
So, Chris,
yeah,
we were all on the Eagles, and we all won that first game on Thursday night. The next game on my list is Green Bay versus Detroit, and somebody called Green Bay to win. Called Detroit to win, and I was one of them. So, I got G first, and I'm behind him. So you must have went first, and I must have agreed with you. Crispy Bacon, you chose Green Bay, you and Joe, and you guys lost that game.
That was a close game.
Oh, Green Bay is terrible.
It was the prison inmate game of the week. On the man, come on, and I saw it, and thank goodness I had Red Zone, so I didn't have to see it too often. But
Yeah,
it was ugly.
it was ugly. I saw that too off and on.
Ugly.
It was
Detroit, and my Detroit friends are sitting there going, we were watching Red Zone. We couldn't watch that locally. He says there was just no way. They couldn't do it. It was just like, wow, are we really watching this game? It's like, nope. when the over-under can't even get across 24, boy, you all got a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the Green Bay is bad. They're bad. That's a bad team.
The defense on all my squads because that defense, it's just not cutting it.
It's a bad team. So the next game I have on the list was the Chargers versus ATL Atlanta. And guess who was the only winner that picked that game? Deuces. Everybody else was on the ATL. I don't know what y'all were thinking, but I still have faith in the Chargers quarterback, even though his ribs aren't 100%. Go ahead. Time's yours.
But one play flips that whole thing around, and my man got the ball, chucking downfield, and then dropped it, and the Chargers recovered it back.
Wasn't that hilarious? I was like,
the key play of the game, and I'm like, no, you had the end zone in your sights, and you forgot to bring the groceries. You dropped the groceries, my man.
You know who it reminded me of? Leon Lett.
Oh yeah, in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He's just moseying along downfield, thinking he's going to walk in the end zone. And what was that? BB, the wide receiver.
Don Beebe
ran him down, hustled.
Yes, he did.
So big men, you're supposed to carry the ball with two hands. Cover it. Cover it both hands. Just tuck it, and because you aren't skilled enough to be running downfield with the football under one arm or in a hand.
Right.
Cover it with both arms. Yep. He just literally lost the ball. He's not used to carrying it.
I bet you they cover that in practice this week.
Oh, I bet they did. Absolutely. That's embarrassing. So, next game, which was
what about the race?
Huh?
The race. You gotta cover the race. That was a good game. The Dolphins and the Bears.
Well, no, I'm going to the next one. The next one on my list is Indy versus New England, which was a boring game. You called the Green Bay Detroit game ugly. The boring game was Indy New England. You lost that game, G, because you picked Indy.
Yeah.
Joe, Chris, and I picked New England, and we won.
Pretty much when coaches literally on their way on the hot seat, you figured the team's going to put it together. Nope, it's not what happened.
And then that was the straw that broke the camel's back. The owner, and did you hear? They actually had former players in the stadium. Was it the week before? Right. The home game was a week before. So this thing of firing their coach was already in the works the week before.
So was Saturday in the works?
Yeah, he's a part of that inside crew.
He was at that Ring of Honor ceremony. Yeah.
Yes, he was there. There's a picture of all of them on the stage for the Ring of Honor. So, and the owner standing behind them. So this thing was not just a spur of the moment firing. This thing was in the works.
And remember, you and I had discussed about we've had a couple conversations. We were talking about Saturday and his coaching, or lack thereof. And somebody posted a full-on video rant of Peyton Manning going over and chewing out Saturday because Saturday's calling the plays out on the field and changing what Peyton wanted to run.
Yeah,
and he's calling the freaking plays. He's like,
and at the end, Manning's like, I think I'm wired up. I think I'm mic'd.
Yeah, he goes, oh, I'm mic'd up too. And we're like, oh, heck no. Yeah, and because Dwight Clark is sitting next to him, and forgot who the receiver was who was standing there too. And it was very entertaining to hear that too. And I said, see, I told you guys Saturday and Peyton were calling the plays on the field. The coaching staff wasn't calling those plays. Those two were calling the plays.
Manny will be OC next year.
And listen, I didn't see that video, but as you were describing it, I remember it when it happened. I was watching that game. I remember it, that he was going off. And if I remember correctly, there only could be 2 receivers that would have been next to Saturday in that frame. Oh,
It wasn't
earplugs out. It would have been Marvin Harrison or the other receiver.
It wasn't Harrison.
Then it would have been the other receiver. I forget his name.
Yeah,
so, but yeah, I remember that play happened. I was absolutely. I mean, Peyton used to but quarterbacks have the cachet as the leader of the offense, either warranted or unwarranted. But they're the captain of the offense. They have the wherewithal and the cachet, or the green light, so to speak, to dictate to scream and yell at their players, their teammates. So I remember that play. It made news that week of the game. I remember ESPN playing it over and over again. So
it's resurfaced.
Yeah.
It is resurfaced.
With technology, nothing goes away, right? So let's move on. Next game, we all got it right. Miami, Chicago.
Well, and that was close.
It was.
And
that was one of those games that I circled, that I said there's a couple of 5-3, 3-5 teams playing each other. It's just like in March Madness when you get that 3 versus 11 or 5 versus 11 in the draw, right? In the March Madness, it's usually an upset. This was a good game. You're right. It could have went to Chicago. Talk about the quarterback from Chicago.
Justin Fields, 178 yards rushing.
He's playing better.
61-yard bust out, and unfortunately, fantasy-wise, I'm playing against that person, and I still squeaked out a win. I don't know who I need to thank for it, but I owe somebody, because that was too dang close. That kid had a field day, and after the phone call that was made from Chicago to Columbus, Justin Fields is looking like the quarterback that Chicago thought they were getting, and it's because the coaches are looking at what Fields' strengths were and what the play designs were, and they're starting to blend them. And that's what's going to make Chicago a little bit more dangerous over the next 5 or 6 games, is because it's about to get real interesting. And, oh, by the way, guess who Chicago's got this week? Detroit.
Well, they have the ability to slowly get back into a potential playoff wild card opportunity if they beat Detroit, because they'll only be 2 games under 500 if they can win this weekend. So we'll keep an eye out on that. In terms of Miami, we already talked about it. They're awesome. They're going to be a fit for anyone in that AFC, be it Kansas City, Buffalo, with Buffalo's new problems. Who else in the AFC besides the Chiefs, Buffalo, the Ravens, Cincinnati? Miami's gonna be a problem for all of them.
The Jets will be there too.
Oh, we didn't get to the Jets. We'll get to the Jets. To the Jets.
You asked who else?
Yeah. We'll get to the Jets. The Jets will be, because they're balling, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're balling. So next game, Seattle versus Arizona. I picked Arizona like a knucklehead. Everybody else was on Seattle, and for some reason I just couldn't pull the trigger on that, because I just didn't believe that what Seattle's doing is real. But guess what? They are for real.
Mm-hmm.
They are for real.
They are. Yeah.
And
I had to cover the NFC West my division to cover for our preview show, and I did not see this coming at all. We were literally, I said that the Rams were definitely in trouble. They weren't going to do it, and I actually had the Cards and the 49ers trying to fight out for that division, and whoops, I didn't see Geno Smith doing this well.
Maybe that's why they let what's his name go to
Wilson.
Denver, because Russell Wilson, because they knew something that we didn't know.
No, not really, because Denver also gave Seattle 6-7 guys technically overall, who are
Really?
also 3 linemen, which Russ asked for, and the
Wow.
linemen went from Denver to Seattle. So that's why Russ still has 2 holes he has to try to run away from on the Denver line, and the coach won't let him run away or audible off of it. That's Hackett's problem. Slowly but surely, Hackett's the next one on the hot seat.
Oh, no doubt about that.
Next one on the hot seat. You have a Super Bowl winning quarterback. You have a future Hall of Famer in Wilson, and you are literally telling him, no, you cannot do this. Come on. That's your coach's ego getting in the way of your team.
Hmm.
Shame on you.
Yep, he's making a big mistake.
Mhm.
So you guys won. I lost against Arizona, Seattle. The next game I have on the list, which was the Sunday night game, the Titans versus Chiefs, and that was actually a pretty good game.
That was scary.
We were all on the Chiefs, and we got lucky because the Titans were ahead.
Thanks to Derrick Henry, though. I mean, Titans almost won that game.
Absolutely. They stopped feeding him the ball, and they left the ball in the hands of the rookie quarterback. We talked about it. You can't do that. Games are too important to leave the ball in the hands of a rookie.
And a rookie who only threw 8 passes. He's not even warmed up.
Yeah.
You can't do that to a guy. You can't sit there and go, here, just practice handing off.
Yeah.
No, you drafted this kid for a reason. Use him the right way. Shame on Vrabel for that.
That's his fault.
That is Vrabel's fault right from the word go.
Yeah,
nobody's saying anything.
He's the head coach. It falls on him. Yep, absolutely. Next game is Minnesota versus Washington. That dumpster fire that it is. And G picked Washington.
Yeah, because usually the revenge games don't go well. And that almost did not go well.
Oh,
Kurt got lucky.
Listen, I've lost all faith in that Minnesota quarterback. I've been so supportive of him over the years. When he was with Washington, I'm done giving him my support because he should not have been as a quarterback. That team should not have been in that situation against Washington. Period.
No,
period.
When Chase Young wasn't even playing yet, I thought he was going to be playing, and he wasn't. And
Listen,
it's like, guess what? I'm sorry, guys, but I mean, it literally came down to a field goal right at the end.
yeah.
You should have been blowing them out if you were going to be blowing them out. When I saw Washington was right in that game, I said Washington could win this. And
what's the quarterback's name? Heineken,
Yeah.
drinking Heinekens. Yeah, yeah, I know. He impressed me last year when he stepped in to play. I think he literally could be a starting quarterback on a lesser team. But that's a dumpster fire in terms of Washington. So that's why.
Heineke was a former Viking.
Yeah.
A few years ago.
Yeah. So
it was a revenge game.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that. Next game was I can't believe 2 in a row. You picked Carolina against Cincinnati. Everybody else was on Cincinnati. You picked Carolina.
Yep. And boy, when it
rains, it pours.
well, no. When you turn around and you add a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and all of a sudden you're mixing it together. You missed it.
I got it. Mixon. No, I got it. Joe Mixon. I got it. Joe Mixon. Because he went off. I got it.
And guess who beat me in Zolt's league? Last week, Christian McCaffrey kicked my butt, 47 points. This week, 57 points, Mixon in standard scoring. I got destroyed in my fantasy in Zolt's league. I said, really? Who's the running back going to be this week? Well, so far, the guy's got 2 guys that are on the bye week. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed somebody's not paying attention.
Yeah, it seems like at least once or twice, maybe 3 times a year, a running back just goes off and just feels it, or the offensive coordinator gets in a groove and calls the right plays. So kudos for him, because that's going to help them, right, in the long run as a threat, which he always has been a threat, but it's really going to help them because they need to get their act together, because at that point they were 4-4, but they're not out of it. They're a good team. They made it to the Super Bowl. They're going to be fine. They're going to make it to the playoffs. So next game, Buffalo.
Yeah.
Losing to the Jets, and Mr. Bryce, Boogie Down Bryce, called it. So
cannot believe he called it.
He called it.
I went outside and I told him, I said, hey, what'd you know? He goes, what? I said, Jets just beat Buffalo. And he said, didn't I tell you? I said, yep. I says, we got it. So it's documented.
Yeah, he called it, and it helped you because you were on a 2-game losing streak. So it helped you get back in the groove. So kudos to Bryce for calling it. Let's just hope the quarterback is not as bad as what the news is or potential news is, because that kid is out. I mean, we all know there's 3 quarterbacks that are just really 4 quarterbacks. There's the quarterback for the Ravens, who has a special talent.
Right.
There's Patrick Mahomes, who's a special talent. There is Aaron Rodgers, who's not winning, but he's a bad man in terms of throwing the football. And then there's Josh Allen. Josh Allen is a beast. And so we need that kid to be healthy, because he is absolutely, you cannot love this guy. He is a baller. He's a football player, and he is a beast. So let's hope he gets healthy soon.
Yes, because otherwise that flex game that they just flipped for
Week 11.
yeah, I was gonna say, actually that's the Chiefs and Chargers, right?
Chiefs, Chargers, and the Steelers game got flipped.
Yeah, the Steelers and Bengals got flipped out. But when they want to turn around and they want to flex another game and Buffalo's in on the mix, they need to have Josh there.
Yeah.
Because flexing, I was just reiterating to, now that they're starting to flex, you need to have that availability ready to go.
Yep.
So you want people to be watching those games.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, we'll keep our fingers crossed.
Yep. Next game is my hometown Jaguars. Woohoo! Beating up on the Raiders. We were down 17-0 and them Jags kept fighting. They kept fighting and fighting, and they finally came back. What a game. Crispy Bacon, you and Joe
Yeah.
were on the losing side of that,
Mhm.
and George and I were on the winning side of that.
I feel like the Raiders will fire their coach after this year. That's how I feel like it.
That is
I don't
that's
know.
a shame.
You got 17-0 at halftime, and you come out and you can only get a field goal for the second half.
That's bad.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Hey.
That is bad.
But you know what? The Jags were running my kind of defense. We're a second half defensive team. Don't let anybody score anything more. I liked it.
Yeah.
Did Bo freeze? Uh-oh. Bo's froze.
Yeah, I see that. Might come back in.
Bo froze.
No,
Bo.
I think Raiders are in trouble.
It's not what I don't think anybody was predicting it was going to be this bad.
No.
There was no way it was going to be this bad. I mean, clearly everybody had them almost giving the Chiefs a run for their money, and they would be AFC contenders for AFC West contenders all the way. I mean, I totally didn't see this. But then again, it's Josh McDaniels, and this is his second stint. And the same thing happened with Denver. And I don't know. It's just really weird. He gets away from Belichick, and it's like, dude, what are you doing? And here it is, the second opportunity, and you've got some awesome weapons.
Yeah.
And this is what you're giving everybody?
I know.
I have a lot of friends who are Raiders fans, diehard Raiders fans, and they are beside themselves. They truly.
I would be too. He did better in Denver, though. I mean, he did have Tebow.
Yeah. I mean, and they won a playoff game.
Yeah.
And then
But now,
here he went and got Peyton Manning.
yeah.
And it was Boxing Manning. So, it that is what it is. But no, nobody saw this coming. Nobody did. Nobody did at all. I was purely shocked. I thought for sure the AFC West division, they would be like last year's AFC North and the NFC West. You know, they were all going to be dogfighting and beating up on everybody else. And nope, that is not the case. The Raiders aren't doing great. We don't know why when they have all the weapons. Denver, we know it's the head coach. The Chargers are kind of just still on that plateau, and then the Chiefs are the Chiefs. So nothing, too surprising outside of that aspect.
I think a lot of people thought that the AFC West was going to be like the top division.
I did. Did we really see the New York Giants and Philadelphia Eagles coming out of the East?
No.
No. Nobody did. Nobody still can believe that the Eagles are undefeated. I looked at the schedule. They play the Packers. Guess what? The Packers defense can't stop a wet paper bag. Philly's going to storm roll it. And there's just nothing there to stop them. Not a thing. Not a thing at all.
I got the schedule up if you want to pick this week's games. I think we're in the week 9 or 10.
Oh, Bo's on the phone.
Is it me or the system?
I don't know. We're just saying. Where you go? You froze.
Oh, okay.
You froze. You want to try jumping back in?
Oh, I tried. I know that they're doing some work in the area. Comcast is doing some work. So you can feel free to put me on speaker if it doesn't create an echo, and I'll kind of like chime in.
Uh-huh.
You're good. You're right here.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you guys read next week's games, and then we'll pick, and then we'll call it a night.
Yep, I got the schedule up too.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that.
Okay, go ahead. I'll start. What's the first game? Tomorrow night is who?
The the game you can take a nap. It's the Falcons are at the Panthers.
ATL.
Yeah, I'm going with the Falcons on this
Yeah.
one.
Falcons.
Okay, I'm joining the crew. We're all on the Falcons. Next game.
The game in Germany, 9:30 a.m. The Seahawks versus the Buccaneers. I'm
Tampa?
going Seahawks.
I'm going Tampa.
Who's going Seahawks?
G.
And Chris is going Tampa.
Yep.
I know Joe will go for Tampa. So let's even this out. I'm going to go with Seattle. Next game.
The Vikings are at the Bills. This one could be interesting. Because if Josh Allen is out, Case Keenum going against his former team in the Vikings.
I'm going Bills.
I'm going Bills.
But I'm nervous about it. I truly am. I'm really nervous, but the Bills defense is not the Commanders defense. It's even better. So I'm going to go with the Bills too.
Chris, who you got?
Buffalo.
I didn't hear him, G.
He's taking Buffalo.
Okay. Next game.
The Lions are at the Bears. It's in Chicago.
I'm taking Chicago.
I'm taking Chicago.
Chicago.
Chris says Chicago too. It's unanimous.
Yep.
All right, Bodine. Using your heart or using your mind? The Jaguars are at the Chiefs. Wow, we've got him speechless for once, Chris.
I'm trying to decide what I'm going to say.
We've got him speechless.
Yeah.
He is speechless. He does not know what to say. He is speechless.
I'm going for it's probably no. I'm not going to be an idiot. I'm going for Kansas. I want the Jags to win, but Kansas City is going to win the game. So I'm picking Kansas City.
Yeah, I am too. Kansas City.
It's a unanimous.
Okay. Who's next?
Next should be a very intriguing football game as the field dries out from the Hurricane Nicole. The Cleveland Browns are in Miami.
Oh, that's easy.
Well, hold on. Our man, Adam, is on an airplane and landed in Miami, and he is there for the game this weekend. So we have a show representative on site in Miami. And when he goes to a game, guess who doesn't lose? So it's going to be a little interesting.
Yeah.
And I thought about this all day long because even in my picks, I was like, But, you got Tyreek Hill, you got Gesicki. There's just a lot of weapons there. And I got to go Miami. Even though Adam's on site, if the Browns pull it off, God bless them. But, the brain says Miami's the pick.
All right, who you got, Chris?
Miami.
Okay. Next game.
The Texans at the Giants. Giants.
Giants.
G-Men.
Next up, wow. The Saints are at the Steelers. Ugh.
Yeah.
I'm going Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. Mhm.
Oh heck no. Look, out of the worst of the worst, the Saints have the better defense. I'll take the Saints.
Okay.
Even though it's been rumored that TJ Watt should be back. It's been rumored, though. I haven't seen anything yet that said he was limited in practice. But no, I think the Saints have the better defense so far. So I'll take the
Mhm.
Saints.
Okay. Next game.
The Broncos are at the Titans. And since all the Titans have to do is run the football, I think I'll take the Titans.
Yeah.
The Titans.
Tennessee.
You too, Chris?
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Next game.
The Colts at the Raiders.
Hmm.
Two
Well,
dumpster fires.
I was going to say, I had a better one. I had a better one for you. Two head coaches that don't know how to coach.
Yeah. I'm going to take the lesser of the evil. I'm going to take the Raiders because I've been in that stadium. I've been at a beat right now. No, I'm going to say this. I've been in Oakland at a Raiders game when they played the Eagles when Donovan McNabb was the quarterback. And there's nothing like the Raiders fans. They're not Philadelphia fans, but they're pretty darn close in terms of their fandom. They're going to will the Raiders to beat the Colts. So I'm picking the Raiders. Who you got, Chris?
I'm going to pick the Raiders, but it's going to be interesting to see how Jeff Saturday is going to do with this Colts team.
Yep. G, who you got?
I'm going to go with the Colts. I'm going to take Saturday and hey, all else fails, he's breaking out the Madden video game, and I'm pretty good with it too.
You're going to be a contrarian 2 games in a row. Okay, I got you. What's the next game? It's getting late.
Cowboys at the Packers. The Cowboys are favored by 7, by the way, in Green Bay. I'm taking the Cowboys.
Yeah. Cowboys.
It's supposed to be warm weather too.
I heard it was supposed to be chilly.
We got almost 75 degrees going to be all up here in the Midwest. It's supposed to be nice and toasty all the way up until Monday, and then we fall to the 40s.
Oh.
Well, I'm taking the Cowboys too, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Cowboys disappointed me and let Green Bay win this game. So.
Oh, that's that Eagles fan talking.
Yeah. There we go. What's the next game?
Oh, a couple of only 3-win teams, and the Rams should have had Tampa Bay last week. So it's the Cards are at the Rams. This one's truly a flip the quarter and see who you get.
I'm taking the Rams.
I'm going Cardinals. Stafford's hurt.
I was going to say Stafford. Yes, they just said Stafford is in concussion protocol. So
that's right.
Stafford
That's right.
won't
Who's the backup? Who's the backup for the Rams?
Who is the backup?
I don't know.
If you don't know, I'm taking the Cards. I'm switching.
He's like, hold on, wait a minute.
So, G, you're on the Cards, and Chris is on the Cards, right?
Hang on.
Yeah.
Where's our depth chart there? Where's our depth chart there?
You got Bryce Perkins or John Wolford that's on the roster for quarterbacks.
Who?
Yeah, I never
Bryce
heard of
Perkins.
either one of them. I'm taking the
Yeah,
Cards.
yeah. and then whoever else is on the practice squad.
What is that? Is that a Sunday night game or a Monday night game?
No, that's
Sunday.
a Sunday. That's a Sunday afternoon.
Okay. What's the next game?
Yeah, I'll take the Cards on that.
Next one's Chargers 49ers.
Chargers at the 49ers?
Yeah. San Fran at home.
I'm taking San Fran.
Yeah, San Fran.
G?
Yeah, that's the Sunday nighter too.
Okay. That's going to be a good game.
49ers on primetime do very well.
Yeah. Yeah. Who's Monday night?
Really? You don't know? That's the Commanders at the Eagles.
Eagles, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's the Commanders that's the phone-in game.
Is that the are we home or away?
You're home.
You're home.
You're home.
We're home.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
what's the spread on that? This is gonna be a beatdown.
11.
Oh yeah, a beatdown.
Yeah, Zoll gave us those numbers the other night. He
Is
said
everybody on the Eagles like
Yep.
I am?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't need to ask that one twice.
Yep. All right, fellas. Well, thanks for bearing with the technical difficulties.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, it happens.
I'm
Yeah.
going to trust that, G, you can say goodbye and good night to all our fans, and we'll call it a night.
You just did.
Thanks for tuning in, folks, and dealing with the technical difficulties. We want to thank G3 for being a good sport and filling in for TB12, a.k.a. Joe. Of course, we want to thank Crispy Bacon for being our incredible producer. And we will see you guys next week. Please stay safe out there. We're getting close to Thanksgiving.